As you grow older, it's essential to be mindful of sharing your personal life with anyone. Life changes in ways we often don't anticipate. We gain wisdom through decades of living, but we also encounter challenges that remind us of the importance of protecting our inner selves. For older Americans, especially those aged 65 and above, life can feel both rich with experiences and increasingly vulnerable in certain aspects. In this stage of life, it's important to understand one profound truth: not everyone deserves access to the most private parts of your life. Let's discuss why it's crucial to guard your personal life and how this approach leads to greater peace, fulfillment, and respect for the journey you've traveled. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. 1. The value of privacy in older age. As the years pass and life unfolds in its infinite complexity, the value of privacy grows in ways we may not have fully appreciated in our younger days. In our later years, when we have amassed a lifetime of experiences, lessons, and wisdom, the world can seem eager to peer into our lives, sometimes uninvited. This stage of life brings a unique blend of richness and vulnerability, where preserving the sanctity of our inner world becomes not just a choice, but a necessity. Privacy in older age is not about isolation or secrecy. It's about recognizing the extraordinary worth of what we've built within ourselves over decades. Every memory, triumph, and heartache forms a mosaic that is distinctly ours. These pieces are treasures, not commodities to be shared casually or without discernment. By safeguarding our privacy, we are not shutting the door on connection. Instead, we are opening the door to self-respect and protecting the sanctity of our journey. In this later stage of life, relationships often shift in unexpected ways. Family, friends, and even acquaintances may take a more active interest in our lives, some out of genuine care and love, but others out of curiosity or self-interest. This new dynamic can feel comforting, but it can also become intrusive. Here we must learn to discern the difference between those who genuinely seek to know us and those who merely seek information. Guarding our privacy allows us to reclaim a sense of autonomy, reinforcing that our lives are ours to live and our stories are ours to share or not share. This is not about selfishness, it's about self-preservation. As we age, we may find that oversharing leaves us vulnerable to judgment, unsolicited advice, or, worse, exploitation. Our personal lives are not a stage for others to project their opinions, nor are they a canvas for others to paint their assumptions. There's also an emotional toll to consider when we open ourselves up too readily. Not everyone will honor or understand the depth of our experiences. Some may dismiss our challenges as trivial or outdated, while others may fail to recognize the significance of our triumphs. These reactions can leave us feeling unseen or devalued, eroding the confidence we've spent a lifetime building. By holding certain aspects of our lives close to our hearts, we preserve the dignity of our experiences and protect the emotional peace we've worked hard to cultivate. At the heart of privacy lies a profound truth: our personal lives are not public property, they are sacred spaces. Like a hidden garden that blooms in solitude, by keeping parts of ourselves private, we are not withholding out of fear but out of respect for the unique and precious journey we've traveled. Privacy is an act of self-love, a way of honoring the person we've become after years of navigating life's highs and lows. This intentional safeguarding of our inner world allows us to focus on what truly matters and gives us the clarity to invest in meaningful connections with those who have proven their worth. It frees us from the noise of unnecessary opinions and empowers us to live authentically without the burden of meeting others' expectations. Privacy is not just a boundary, it is a declaration of self-worth, a way of saying, "I value my story enough to choose who gets to hear it." In the quiet of our later years, this choice becomes an act of courage, a reminder that our lives are our own, and no one else's interpretation or validation is required. By valuing privacy, we give ourselves the gift of peace, the freedom to be unapologetically ourselves, and the strength to walk through life on our terms. 2. Why discernment is more important than ever. As we grow older, life sharpens our instincts about people and relationships. This is the gift of age, an intuitive understanding of who can be trusted and who cannot. Discernment, the ability to judge wisely and act with intentionality, becomes an essential skill in the later years of life. It is not just about making decisions, it is about protecting the heart and preserving the dignity of the stories we've lived. Not everyone we meet will understand the weight of our experiences. Some will approach us with genuine curiosity, ready to listen with an open heart. Others, however, may lack the empathy or depth to truly appreciate what we share. They might trivialize our hardships, dismiss our dreams, or offer advice rooted more in their assumptions than in our reality. These interactions can leave us feeling unseen or misunderstood. Discernment helps us avoid this pain by teaching us to pause, evaluate, and choose who truly deserves access to our inner world. In a world where sharing is often encouraged as a pathway to connection, we must remember that vulnerability is a gift, not an obligation. It should be given only to those who will cherish it. Without discernment, our openness can become a source of emotional harm. Even well-meaning individuals might inadvertently diminish our experiences or respond in ways that hurt rather than heal. By carefully selecting who hears our stories, we protect ourselves from the disappointment of misplaced trust. Discernment also acts as a shield against exploitation, a concern that grows more pressing as we age. Sadly, there are those who might seek to manipulate our trust for their own gain, whether financially, emotionally, or otherwise. When we share too much with the wrong people, we risk giving them the tools to harm us. Practicing discernment is not about being closed off, it's about being wise. It's about recognizing that not everyone's intentions align with our well-being and taking steps to ensure that our openness serves us rather than exposes us. In these later years, discernment becomes more than a skill. It becomes a way of living, a quiet strength that honors ourselves by deciding who has earned the privilege of hearing our truth. It allows us to focus our energy on the relationships that matter, those that nurture rather than drain, and helps us walk through life with greater peace and security. 3. The sacredness of your stories. Each of us carries within us a tapestry of experiences, moments of joy, heartbreak, triumph, and resilience. These stories are more than memories. They are the very essence of who we are. As we age, the sacredness of these stories becomes even clearer. They are not just anecdotes to be shared casually. They are treasures that reflect the depth of our journey. Like any treasure, they deserve to be guarded and shared only with those who will truly value them. To share a story is to open a window into your soul. It is an act of profound trust, a way of saying, "This is who I am, this is where I've been." Such vulnerability deserves to be met with respect, understanding, and care. Yet, not everyone is capable of receiving our stories with the honor they deserve. Some may listen half-heartedly, failing to grasp the meaning behind our words. Others might judge or misunderstand, leaving us feeling diminished or dismissed. It is in these moments that we realize the importance of carefully choosing who we allow into our inner world. Our stories are sacred because they hold the wisdom of a lifetime. They are reflections of our values, our struggles, and our growth. They are the legacy we carry, truths we leave behind for those who will come after us. Sharing these stories is not a right that others are entitled to. It is a privilege that must be earned. In choosing to share with intention, we reclaim the power of our narrative. We decide who gets to hear about our triumphs and trials, who has earned the right to witness our vulnerabilities, and who is worthy of carrying the weight of our trust. This choice is not about withholding but about honoring. It is about recognizing the depth of our experiences and treating them with the reverence they deserve. There is also a profound freedom in keeping some stories close to our hearts. Not everything needs to be shared to be meaningful. Some moments are so personal, so deeply rooted in who we are, that they are best kept as quiet reflections within ourselves. By holding these stories sacred, we affirm their importance and protect the dignity of our journey. As you grow older, remember that your stories are not just words. They are a testament to a life well lived. Guard them, cherish them, and share them only with those who will honor them as deeply as you do. This is not just an act of caution, it is an act of profound self-respect, a way of saying that my life, my experiences, and my truth are valuable, and I will choose who gets to see them. 4. The digital age and oversharing. In the modern world, technology offers remarkable tools to stay connected with loved ones and share our lives. Yet it also presents new challenges, particularly for older adults. The digital age has made it easier than ever to share personal details with the click of a button. Social media, messaging apps, and online platforms encourage openness, often blurring the lines between meaningful connection and oversharing. For those of us in our later years, it's crucial to approach these tools with caution and mindfulness. Sharing online can feel like an easy way to stay connected with family and friends. A photo from a grandchild's birthday, a memory from your youth, or a simple update about your day can bridge the miles and make you feel closer to loved ones. However, the internet is a vast and often impersonal space. Once you share something online, you lose control over who sees it and how it's interpreted. A well-meaning post can sometimes lead to unwanted opinions, misunderstandings, or even exploitation. Oversharing in the digital world also carries the risk of oversaturating your relationships with surface-level communication. When we share everything with everyone, we dilute the significance of those moments. Sharing loses its meaning when it becomes habitual or obligatory rather than intentional and heartfelt. By being selective about what you post or share, you preserve the intimacy of your experiences and ensure that your connections remain genuine and meaningful. There is also a practical side to consider. Older adults can sometimes become targets for scams or other forms of manipulation online. Sharing too much information about your finances, your routines, or even your emotions can make you vulnerable to those who might seek to take advantage of your trust. Protecting your privacy online is not about distrust, it's about being proactive and safeguarding your well-being. Remember, just because technology makes it easy to share doesn't mean you have to. You are under no obligation to explain your life or justify your choices to anyone, whether in person or online. The power lies in your ability to choose what, when, and with whom to share. The digital age can be a tool for connection, but it should never replace the richness of real, intentional relationships. By being mindful of how you use these platforms, you can strike a balance between staying connected and protecting your privacy. In doing so, you honor your journey and maintain the integrity of your personal life in a world that often demands too much of it. 5. The peace of keeping things private. In the quiet rhythm of older age, there is a profound beauty in holding parts of your life close to your heart. Choosing not to share everything is not an act of secrecy, it is an act of intention. By keeping certain aspects of your personal journey private, you create space for peace, reflection, and self-respect. This is a time when life invites you to shift from outward expression to inward appreciation, a time to prioritize your emotional well-being over the opinions of others. When you decide to keep something private, you affirm that not everything needs to be explained or shared to have value. Some moments are too precious, too personal, to be offered up for public consumption. These are the moments that shape your character, anchor your identity, and remind you of who you are at your core. By holding them close, you honor their significance and protect them from being trivialized or misunderstood. There is also a quiet freedom in not feeling obligated to share. Life becomes simpler when you release the need to justify your decisions or seek approval for your choices. The opinions of others, while often well-meaning, can complicate matters or even sow doubt where none existed before. By choosing privacy, you take control of your narrative and shield yourself from unwanted noise. This autonomy is not only empowering but deeply calming. Privacy also allows you the space to process your emotions without external interference. Not every challenge or triumph needs to be shared immediately or at all. The time spent sitting with your feelings, exploring their depth, and understanding their meaning can be profoundly healing. In these quiet moments, you reconnect with yourself, free from the weight of others' expectations or judgments. As you grow older, you come to realize that life's most meaningful connections are not built on how much you share but on how authentically you show up. By choosing privacy, you are not withdrawing from the world, you are engaging with it on your terms. You are creating boundaries that protect your peace and preserve the sacredness of your journey. Within those boundaries, you find a sense of balance, serenity, and self-respect that cannot be taken away. 6. Trusting the right people. Trust is one of life's most precious commodities, and it becomes even more so in the later years of life. After decades of living, you've likely experienced the joy of relationships built on trust and the pain of those where trust was broken. This wisdom serves as a guide, teaching you the importance of discerning who deserves a place in your inner world. In this stage of life, trust is not something to be given lightly. It is a treasure to be earned and cherished. The people you trust are those who have proven their loyalty through actions, not just words. They listen with empathy without rushing to offer advice or judgment. They respect your boundaries, honoring your decisions even when they don't fully understand them. These are the individuals who have stood by you through life's storms, offering support without conditions and love without strings attached. But trust is not just about history, it's also about consistency. The right people show up for you time and time again, in big ways and small. They are there not because they have to be, but because they want to be. Their presence is steady, their care genuine, and their intentions clear. These are the people who deserve to hear your truths, to hold your vulnerabilities, and to celebrate your victories. Building trust requires patience. Sometimes you may feel the urge to open up quickly, especially if you are seeking connection or comfort. But trust, like a tree, needs time to grow strong roots. Share a little at first, observe how the other person responds, and let the relationship deepen naturally. Pay attention to their actions. Do they honor your confidence, or do they treat your story as casual conversation? Do they make you feel safe, or do they leave you questioning their motives? These small signals are often the best indicators of whether someone is truly worthy of your trust. It's also important to remember that trust is not a guarantee of perfection. Even the most trustworthy people can make mistakes. What sets them apart is their willingness to acknowledge those mistakes, take responsibility, and make amends. True trust is resilient. It grows stronger through honesty, understanding, and mutual respect. In these later years, trusting the right people becomes not just a matter of emotional safety, but a cornerstone of your overall well-being. The individuals you allow into your inner circle can uplift you, provide support, and help you navigate life's challenges with grace. By choosing carefully who you trust, you protect your peace, preserve your dignity, and ensure that your most valuable stories are held with the care they deserve. Trust wisely, and you will find that the relationships you cultivate bring not only connection but also a profound sense of fulfillment. 7. Setting boundaries without guilt. As we journey through life, boundaries become an essential part of protecting our emotional well-being. In older age, the importance of boundaries becomes even clearer. These lines we draw between ourselves and others are not acts of separation, they are acts of self-respect. Setting boundaries is about creating a space where you feel safe, valued, and at peace, a space where your voice matters, your feelings are honored, and your experiences are respected. But for many, the act of setting boundaries can feel uncomfortable, even guilt-inducing. We may worry about seeming unkind or pushing others away, particularly when those relationships are with family, old friends, or caregivers. Yet it's important to remember that boundaries are not walls. They are bridges to healthier, more balanced connections. They allow you to engage with others on your terms, ensuring that your needs and limits are respected without sacrificing your peace. Setting boundaries begins with clarity. Take time to reflect on what you need, emotionally, physically, and mentally, to feel secure and fulfilled. Perhaps it's asking a family member not to bring up a certain topic or letting a friend know that you need more time to yourself. Once you're clear on your boundaries, communicate them openly and honestly. You don't need to over-explain or justify your choices. A simple, heartfelt explanation is enough. The right people will respect your needs without question. Firmness is also key. There will be moments when others push against your boundaries, whether intentionally or unintentionally. In these moments, standing firm becomes an act of self-preservation. It's okay to say no without feeling the need to soften it with excuses or apologies. You are not responsible for managing others' feelings about your boundaries. You are responsible for honoring your own. Boundaries also serve as a filter for relationships. When you set and enforce them, you quickly learn who truly respects you and who does not. The people who value you will appreciate the clarity and effort it takes to articulate your needs. They will see your boundaries not as barriers, but as expressions of self-care. Those who resist or dismiss your boundaries, however, reveal a lack of respect for your autonomy, insight that can guide you in reevaluating the place they hold in your life. Setting boundaries is not selfish, it's essential. It ensures that your later years are filled with connections that uplift rather than drain you. Most importantly, it affirms to yourself that your time, energy, and well-being are worth protecting. There is no guilt in that, only strength and wisdom. 8. The gift of true connection. In a world that often prioritizes quantity over quality, true connection remains one of life's most profound gifts. As we age, the desire for meaningful relationships often becomes more pronounced. We long not for superficial exchanges or fleeting interactions but for deep, authentic bonds that nourish our spirits and affirm our sense of belonging. True connection is not about how much you share, it is about how deeply you are understood. At its core, true connection is built on mutual trust and respect. It thrives in the quiet moments when someone truly listens, not to respond, but to understand. It grows in the spaces where vulnerability is met with empathy, where your fears and dreams are held with care rather than judgment. These connections remind us that we are not alone in our journeys, even as life changes and relationships evolve. But true connection does not come easily or automatically. It requires intentionality, effort, and discernment. It begins with knowing yourself, your values, your boundaries, and your needs. When you are clear about who you are, you can more easily identify the people who align with your essence. These are the individuals who celebrate your victories without jealousy, who comfort you in your struggles without seeking anything in return, and who stand beside you in life's quiet, unremarkable moments simply because they care. True connection also asks that you let go of relationships that no longer serve you. This can be one of the most challenging aspects of growing older, recognizing that not every relationship is meant to last a lifetime. Some connections, while meaningful in their time, may no longer provide the support, respect, or joy you need. Letting them go is not an act of bitterness but of growth. It creates space for new connections to blossom and for existing ones to deepen. It's also important to recognize that true connection does not require constant sharing. In fact, it is often strengthened by intentional silence and thoughtful communication. When you choose to share selectively, you preserve the sacredness of your experiences and ensure that your words carry weight. The people who truly value you will understand that your openness is a gift, not an obligation. They will treasure what you share and never demand more than you are willing to give. As you embrace the later chapters of life, cherish the gift of true connection. Seek out those who see you as you are and love you without conditions. Invest your energy in relationships that bring you peace and fulfillment. Above all, remember that the depth of your connections matters far more than their number. In these relationships, you will find not only companionship but also the profound reassurance that you are valued, understood, and deeply loved. Final thoughts. In the later chapters of life, protecting your personal story is an act of self-respect. You've lived a full and meaningful life, filled with joys, struggles, and triumphs. These experiences belong to you, and it's your choice who gets to share in them. When you grow old, remember this: your personal life is not a public domain. It's a treasure to be guarded, shared only with those who have proven themselves worthy of your trust. By doing so, you honor the incredible journey that has brought you to this point and ensure that your legacy is preserved with dignity and care. Live your later years with intention, peace, and the knowledge that you are in control of your story, because not everyone deserves a seat at your table, and that's perfectly okay. These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey towards embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.